Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new episode of Majalis Talk. In tonight's edition, our guest is Dr. Khalid Al Dosari. He is a senior HRD consultant and a T-cell expert. Dr. Khalid, first of all, thank you very much for hosting us and also for being with us in Majalis Talk.
Thanks a lot for having me. Very proud for you to be here with the crew, and thank you for all the people who are here and to really film this episode. Hopefully I will be a guest of great value to you. Inshallah.
First of all, let's go back to your beginnings, and as you told me, you were born in Muharraq. Tell us the story of this thing that really, I think, that changed somehow of your life.
Well, just to Muharraq, of course, is a very dear history in my life. Nobody would really, it's a time that I cherish to talk about it a lot. But before going to this, I really want to say that really we, as you know, this family, Dossari, basically between Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, and we consider ourselves the pioneers and the founders of the Dammam as a Dossari who came from Bahrain a long time ago.
Yes.
So basically that's a history that, of course, is already recorded in history. But if you really want to go to my life, what is it really that, how it really happened? This is basically, it was, you know, I was born in Muharraq, you know, and I stayed for a while there. I came back to Saudi Arabia, then I went to, and I stayed in Bahrain most till I finished my high school. Why did I go, or why I went really to Bahrain?
Yes,
and I stayed for
go ahead. Yeah, we just want to talk about
it. You know, Aramco, Saudi Aramco is always the cause of our misery and prosperity. Aramco is a legacy.
Yes.
And I love, of course, Aramco, the fact that this whole family is basically, you know, have been working in Aramco since time immemorial. And there is a history behind all of that, you know. I don't want to get into, it's a painful history, but at the same time, it's a light that has illuminated our life. My father's life, and my life, and the whole family's life. You know, in 1939, July 18, there was a big fire in Aramco, huge fire, and as you can see it, I can show it. It's in the picture here. I can show it to you later on.
We just know we will focus on
that.
We
later
on. Talking.
But it's basically this fire is for us is a very painful event, not just for us as a family. It's a very painful event for Aramco world, because it was the biggest and the greatest fire in the history of Aramco. And when this fire really happened, there were two individuals. One was welding on the rig. That was, well, you know, and you know, if in 1938 Saudi Arabia discovered oil.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the early beginnings of oil.
Dammam, and they found oil in the biggest amount of commercialized oil that started gushing out, big number, and that was 3,000 basically barrels per day, maybe a little bit more, and it was commercialized at that time.
Yes.
That was Dammam well number 7, and they call it Bir al-Khair, the well of prosperity.
Great.
This is where Saudi Arabia at that time started prospering through this oil, and the oil started basically gushing out and coming in commercialized quantity.
Yes.
Okay. In 1939, of course, they found the oil in 1938. In 1939, the big fire happened, because they started, of course, digging more wells to discover more oil.
It might be also the first accident that happened.
Dammam, yes, and it was the first accident. It was Dammam, Dammam 12. The well was called Dammam. Basically, was the number of that well was 12, and two men were basically
working in that
died in these two. When the fires, you know, basically exploded, or that rig exploded, there was an American guy and there was a Saudi guy. And the Saudi guy was, you know, we had, you know, at that time the Saudis were Saudis were really working very hard. They built this Saudi Arabia, you know. We should be proud of that history, because we built basically Saudi Arabia, of course, with the expats' presence But Saudis dedicated, especially during that time, they were sacrificed and they dedicated their life. So the Saudi, you know, when the fire exploded, basically the Saudi passed away, died. He could not jump because the fire was big, so Newton started basically expanding. Okay, and it stayed 20 days. And of course there were some
fire just stayed for 20 days
because it was a huge fire. So an American guy died who was supervising the Saudi who was on the rig welding, and that Saudi was who? Was my grandfather.
God rest his soul in peace.
Okay.
Yes.
His name is Abdullah. Okay, Yusuf Saif, basically.
That was your grandfather.
Al-Dosari, okay, and that was my grandfather. When he died, he had a son, and the son's age at that time was 1 year and 3 months, 4 months, around that. And of course, when he died, passed away, the whole family was in shock, in remorse, in sadness, in grief. Of course, that was a big event because at that time his age was around maybe 20 years, around that, 20 around it maybe.
Yes.
So it was a big event for us. It was disasters, but it was a new life for that orphan who progressed and became basically a man that has helped to shape also the history of Aramco, and not just Aramco. Even he was one of those guys who was nominated to build Jubail, to be part of the project at that time. They called the Master Project in Jubail, to establish Jubail and Yanbu. And he was like, he became the second man in the Royal Commission at that time. That was my father. And that was the orphan. And that was the orphan. So for us, the fire is painful, but at the same time, it was for us a light, a shining light for us to really work hard to make sure that we really dedicate ourselves. And so Aramco for us is a legacy. It's something that is so valuable. So it's not just a matter of a company. It's more than that for us. It's a legacy. It's a history. It's memoirs. Whatever you want to call it. It's really something that we cherish. We're very proud of it. But one thing that I would like to mention here, Allah has given us this oil because we have the two sacred mosques, Al-Haramain Al-Sharifain.
Yes.
If we don't protect the Haramain Al-Sharifain, we are not worthy to be Saudis.
Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, we will remain for
also
forever,
the custodian.
inshallah.
You know, King Salman, may Allah bless him, and Allah have
help him,
may Allah have more prosperous in his time. You know, he is the custodian of the two holy mosques.
Yes.
Every Saudi must be the custodian of the two holy mosques. We should all unite to defend the two sacred mosques. Allah has given us this wealth and prosperity not just for us. We have an honor, and we should protect this honor.
Alhamdulillah.
And our honor is to be in this land. It's so sacred because it has these two sacred lands.
Alhamdulillah. So we will go back and talk also about Muharraq, about your education.
Of course,
there in
I was educated in yes, I was educated
in Bahrain.
Yes, in Bahrain. Because at that time, my father, of course, we were born there. My father, of course, was also born there. You know, interrelationship. I was born there. My mother was born there. My
and also so many people
so
from
many
the Eastern province have also
born in
relation with
Bahrain, and there's a lot of relationship. Okay.
Yes.
So basically, why did we have to stay in Bahrain and continue there? Because at that time my father was working with Aramco, and he was given a scholarship. So he had to take us to his father-in-law. My mother's
to Muharraq mainly to study there.
My father's basically my father's or my mother's father.
Yes.
His father-in-law, who is also his uncle.
Great.
So basically, he took us there for us to be brought up there.
Great.
So we stayed there. We were reared there. We were brought up there. We went to a school, intermediate school called Umar bin Al-Khattab, in an area called Bin Hindi.
Yes.
Al-Mirri. These are in Al-Jodar area, Bin Hindi, and you know, there are 3 areas very famous in Muharraq. And so we lived there. We were reared there. We really enjoyed every minute there. It was simple life, very nice life. We suffered a little bit, but it was enjoyable suffering.
Great.
But you know, my father, of course, had to go all the way. Aramco at that time would be sending many of those who would sacrifice their life, sometimes he would dedicate their life. They would leave their families, you know. So basically the leaders were not the men only. The women were the leaders, because all of those guys went to the States, studied there. They stayed there for 6, 7 years, 8 years, and the women were taking care of their kids here. So we have two leaders there who
Yes.
took care of Aramco and the kingdom, the men and the women. Because the men were basically went to the state to study,
Yes,
to get the degree, to come and help this country prosper.
to elevate his country
Yes,
as well. Yeah.
yes. And they dedicated their life. They sacrificed. They would not come during vacation at that time. At that time, the company would not give them vacation to come every year. No. They would go stay for years there.
For
And
4 years
they
at least to finish and then come back.
They might come
soon.
only 1 month, maybe in 6 years.
Great.
We saw our father, I remember at that time, only 1 month. During 6 maybe or 7 years, I don't know. Not just us, there are other examples in Khubar, in Dammam, those who were working at that time, and people who want to study. So basically ladies took care and they were leading. So we have two leaders. We always walked with these two legs.
You studied your high school there in, I think you told me in Khalid.
Then after Umar bin
school.
Khattab,
This school was the same which was
Ghazi
Ghazi
al-Qusaybi
school.
and all those prominent people graduated from. Basically,
Yes.
after I finished my Umar bin Khattab at that time was elementary school
Yes.
and intermediate school.
Great.
And
At
at
the
that
same
time,
place.
they did not have like elementary was 6 years, and intermediate was only 2 years, not
2
like
years.
today, 3 years.
Yeah.
So we studied 2 years. They call it al-i'dadiyya.
Yes,
Not
yeah.
like here in Saudi Arabia, they call it al-mutawassita.
It's now
Okay.
it's called Al-Adiyya, but it's now 3 years now.
Now of
Now
course
it's
it's 3
3
years. But during our time it was only 2 years called al-i'dadiyya. Then after that you'll go to high school. Of course then we went to al-Hidayah al-Khalifi. We would be walking in these nice corridors, very lovely corridors. I still remember this.
Yes.
This is the most beautiful time that we really spent. You know, we would walk from, and sometimes when my father bought us these bicycles from
Yes.
Saudi Arabia, brought them, everybody was looking at them, strange bicycles. One is green, one is red, one for me and one for my brother Adil. And we were basically like, we were very happy about this because they were the only two bicycles that were so strange. But we used to walk, basically walk from the house every day, going back and forth. Lovely neighborhood, lovely people that we lived with. We were very close to each other. Most of the people in that neighborhood were close to us, also relatives also, from my mother's side, maternal side. So basically it was lovely. That's basically what I was about. Till high school, when I finished high school, I came back to Saudi Arabia after that.
Here.
Yeah.
Then
the
you
whole
moved-
family came, not just me. Then after that we came here, and of course I went to Riyadh University.
Great.
Some people call it King Saud now.
Before call it Niem Saud, it was
but
Riyadh
the
University.
strange thing is that my last year, I dropped once. Of course, I majored in English. I didn't want at that time to major in English education. I wanted to go to the commerce college. At that time, they call it commerce college.
Yes.
Or college of commerce or something like that. But they did not accept me, and they shifted me to college of education. So I majored in English.
You graduated as an English teacher.
As an
in the
English teacher,
future.
yes.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was not that strong in English. But I put a lot of effort. Strange. It was really so humongous effort. It's like a huge effort.
And I remember that it was very difficult.
And not only so,
University.
I did two things to basically improve myself, which are really, and I would advise everybody to start thinking about it, which is basically led me to the thinking of what I'm doing now in a human resource and teaching English, that I give workshops now sometimes or consultation.
Yes.
And one of them is basically what I did. There was an Afro-American family
Yes.
in Riyadh University studying in the Institute of Arabic or Arabic Institute.
Yes.
And I took advantage of them there. They were the man or the father was visiting what they call it, college of education.
Yes.
And we saw each other in the mosque. Then after prayer we saw each other and we started talking. And I said, look, man, you've come all the way to study Arabic here. And Islam and all of that. He was a non-Muslim, then he became a Muslim.
Yeah,
he became
converted to Islam,
He became an imam
MashaAllah.
from Indiana Gary. May Allah have mercy on his soul. He died out of cancer, liver cancer.
God bless his soul.
May Allah have mercy on his soul. Ali Abdul Malik. And he was basically he came here. He got married to a lady with 2 daughters, and he brought them here. So basically at that time they were studying Arabic, Islam and all of that. So after the prayer I left, and I had my, we call it my bag on my back.
Yes.
I was wearing my pants, and I was very, you know, I'm very athletic by nature, because when I was in Bahrain, I used to play also football with the Muharrak club.
So great.
I used to play gymnastics.
MashaAllah, great.
I'm athletically very well fit at that time, and I like also. So I played, not of course in the professional sense, but I played with Muharrak. My life I spent it a lot in this lovely club. It taught me a lot of things. Muharrak would never accept any loss. And so they taught me the challenge. So in my life, I took that mentality also. So I was talking about, what was I saying? I got jumped into something.
We talk about your journey there in Riyadh and studying the English.
Then Ali Abdul Malik, I approached him after prayer. I said, Ali, you've come all the way to study Arabic and Islam here. And you can have a lot of people speaking Arabic. I've come all the way to study English in Saudi Arabia. Nobody's speaking English here.
Yes, of course.
And I need to learn. I have a problem here. And my English is not that strong. So what do? I need to have a bargain.
So we need to exchange.
So I told him, I need to have a bargain with you. I'm ready to come to your house, teach you, your wife, and your two stepdaughters.
Yes, mashallah. I still remember them.
They were 9 and 8. Yes, of course. We established very, very close relationship. As a matter of fact, they started calling me their son. Okay. And whenever I would go in the summer, after of course the academic year finishes, they would cry. At that time I wasn't living in Saudi Arabia. I would leave, go on vacation.
Basically, you were intimate to each other.
I go to Bahrain, or I'll come to Saudi Arabia, work in the summer in any of these places. I work in Aramco also in the summer. I work in Bahrain also in the summer. Okay. So basically I would then, so we had a good bargain. Not money, it was a lovely bargain, moral bargain. He learned from me, I learned a lot from him. I said, I don't need books. I just want you to, wherever you go, take me with you. And I want to come to your house. If you need me to teach your wife Arabic, to teach you Arabic, to teach you Islam, whatever I knew, I would say, to teach your two stepdaughters, whatever you want to do, I'm ready to teach them. So we established very lovely camaraderie, friendship, brotherhood.
Great.
Okay, and they loved me and I loved them like basically a son with his family. And it was, I did this in basically at the end of the second year.
Yes.
And even the doctors started doubting me, say, what did you do with your English? They started saying, you started, mashallah, improving in your English. What have you done? I said, well, this is what I did. So I said, one of those guys, his name is Dr. Husni, he died, I think, he passed away. He was the best teacher or doctor I ever seen, whether he is in Saudi Arabia or in America. This guy was the best, Husni, Muhammad Husni, Dr. Muhammad Husni. And this man, may Allah have mercy on his soul, if he passed away. This man was really taught me a lot. When he saw me, he said, Dosseri, what have you done? I said, well, like Dr. Muhammad, everybody would check when you see this guy, because all the students would worry about. He would not give a lot of grades, or basically high grades.
I remember that.
Tough guy.
It was very tough.
But mashallah, we learned the hard way what he taught. So he said, Dosseri, what did you do? I said, I did this. He said, now I know what's happening. I said, this is what I did. I'm still doing it. This is one I call it directed learning. I took the initiative to improve myself. Courses in the college basically does not add up a lot. Yes, it might open up doors for you, but basically you have to do more than that.
You have to work hard yourself, and as you know, there was an internet at that time. And I remember that I was, I was graduate from King Saud University. That was maybe around 25 years ago. And I still remember some memories from there. I remember Dr. Ali Jad, who just asked, you remember him.
We went with him to California, Berkeley.
MashaAllah, great.
We, at that time,
remember him. A very wonderful person, but he's at least very tough.
He passed away also.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Dr.
Muhammad Jad, he was the one who led the team, not the students, to California, Berkeley. At that time, Jamiat al-Riyadh, Riyadh University, would take those who were majoring in English, whether it is in the art college or in the college of education, anybody majoring English, in the summer they would take them either to UK or to the States. It happened that our trip was the last trip, and after that they cancelled. And they took us to California, Berkeley at that time, Berkeley.
With Dr. Ali Jad.
With Dr. Ali Jad, and with his family, he was with us also.
Great.
And he was really like, and I was the
very tough and straight, and I remember that.
I was the youngest, because I graduated from high school 17.
Yes.
You know, in Bahrain, because of 11 years at that time. It was not 12 years.
Yes.
So I was very young and of course handsome. Of course, I'm
that's
still
clear. You're still handsome.
Yeah, but I was much more at that time.
I can figure that. Yes.
Okay.
You are still very young, by the way.
So no, I'm 55 now.
MashaAllah.
So I'm not that young. But basically, he said, I'm not gonna let you, because at that time my sister was studying in Canada, and I said, Dr. Ali,
Dr. Ali,
please, can you give me 6 days? I'll go to Canada. He said, no, I cannot let you. You're the youngest here. I said, but you let the other guys. They go now, they are traveling. They said, yes, but they are a little bit older than you. I cannot let you go.
But by the way, do you remember?
He was worried about me, and may Allah have mercy on his soul. I was really sad when he said this, because I was arranging to see the possibility to go to Canada, because you know, when you have a visa to America, I think you could go to Canada.
Yes.
Anyway, it didn't work out. So you've reminded me of him. Thank you, really.
I remember something from him that he was, you know, just putting some notes on his door that when, for example, if you are graduating, please don't embarrass me, don't force me just to let me just, you know, pass. You have to stay there, okay, and do it after, you know, failing the course. I have no limitations. There are no limitations. I remember that.
MashaAllah, yani dedication.
Very well, very
sincerity,
well, very accurate also.
Morally well-bred person.
Yes.
May Allah have mercy on his soul. Allah yarhamah. We miss him. Like Muhammad Husni, Dr. Muhammad Husni. These two I will not forget at all.
They're so great. They are
anyway,
so great.
What happened? The other one that I did, I just tell you about it, which is very interesting to improve yourself. And this is maybe a good story to say, so that others will benefit. Those who are the students in universities will benefit. What I did, maybe I don't want the students to do it, but I dropped 1 semester.
When you were in Riyadh University, Kingston University.
Yes, that was in 1981. No, in 1980. I dropped 1 semester.
To work in a pectoral company in
at that
Jubail.
time, of course, Jubail.
You moved to Jubail.
Yes, at that time my father also quit Aramco, and they chose him among 7 guys to go and work on these 2 projects.
Chosen by
Ghazi al-Qusaybi and Al-Jishi, Allah يحفظهم. Allah يرحم الشيخ Ghazi al-Qusaybi, الدكتور الجشي طبعا. محمد جميل الجشي. He's one of the best.
And that was the beginning also for Jubail.
Jamil al-Jishi was really a strong character.
Yes.
I remember he is one of the builders of Jubail, and my father used to really admire his dedication. He worked hard, you know. So Jamil al-Jishi, Dr. Jamil al-Jishi,
yes.
And my father, they were very close. And there was also Ahmed al-Mubarak. Basically, they took 7 guys from Aramco, I think. That's what I remember. I don't know if I have the number accurate.
Yes.
To work on the 2 projects, on that project, Jubail and Yamba.
Jubail and Yamba.
Yeah, yes. And I think Jubail and Yamba at that time. But they really did. My father became like the second man there. You know, the second man, basically, there in Jubail.
MashaAllah.
But later on, of course, he stayed for 3 to 4 years, and he went back to Aramco. He got a better offer in Aramco than after that.
Yes. And that was the beginning of implementing SABIC there in Jubail.
There was no SABIC at that time. There was a Royal Commission, you know. But yeah,
yes.
That was the start, of course, in preparation for SABIC and all of that. Thanks.
Yes.
If my knowledge or information is accurate. Then, yes. So basically, I went to Bechtel. I worked with the Bechtel company, the first contractor for that project, the master gas plant, they call it, I think. Okay. And it was really lovely. I worked not just as summer student, no. I dropped and I worked there. And I became like
full-time worker
full time in the technical institute. في ذاك الوقت technical institute.
Yes,
ما كان في الكلية.
There was
الكلية كانت, it was only a drawing on my father's table. I was seeing it in my eyes. And طبعا مرت السنين, years went by, and I went to that college that I saw that, what do you call it, mock-up and the diagram on my father's, basically, because they were at that time trying to build a huge technical institute. Then later on they changed it to a college, Jubail Industrial College. And it happened that I came there and I led the English department. I became the director of the English. That was, of course, طبعا after I graduated, I went to معهد الإدارة العامة, the Institute of Public Administration.
Yes.
But just to go back, I really learned from the 6 years, because it was American with the Bechtel, speaking English all the time. I was really involved, and I
was immersed in the language
itself. Not only
that,
they gave me a project to write technical dictionary, because they were teaching. There was a training, the Technical Institute.
Yes.
They said, we need you to start writing to do a small dictionary. So I started taking the English words, technical words,
Great.
and just finding all the, started working on the meaning. The meaning. So I did like a box, you know, you can just, you take cards, and you see the cards, the definition of the
flashcard.
Definition, nice
like
one.
Flash
Yes.
cards,
So it became a very nice dictionary, handy one, with all this alphabetically ordered, of course.
Yes.
Very nicely. And it was really something very interesting. That was my project in 6, basically, my best project. And of course,
wonderful.
I was speaking all the time there. Of course, my father was there. So maybe I got pampered a little bit, spoiled a little bit. Everybody took good care of me, maybe. I don't know. But I was and basically I dedicated myself a lot. My father, may Allah bless him, really has helped me also to work there, because, and he was angry. He didn't want me to quit or to drop, and he was very angry. And he started shouting at me and the mom. I remember I went to his house.
So why did you just don't complete
why did
1 year and
why
then
did
go
you
there?
drop this? Why did you drop?
You
and of course,
finish.
anyway, so finally.
Did he find it difficult or
finally
something?
He just gave in to me. Then I said, "Khalas, come to Jubail," and I started working. I said I wanted to improve.
I'm just trying just to know the reason for you to quitting there, dropping there and going to Jubail. Is it an opportunity for you to go there?
No, it wasn't really just for a no, of course it was. I had only 1 year remaining. Bas.
Yes.
So basically I worked for 6 months almost, little bit less, in Bechtel, in the institute.
Yes.
Not in Bechtel, basically. Of course, serving the institute, being a clerical support and advisor, training advisor, a little bit. I wasn't really involved that much in the advising, but basically I was like in the clerical support with that training and trying to learn from.
Great.
And there was a mentor who was mentoring me. His name is Ahmed Mackenzie. Allah yadhkar bil khair. May Allah bless this man. He also,
then you get back to Riyadh to finish
after I finished 6, then I went back
last semester
to finish
the last
my
year.
1 year. But the strange thing is that because I quit that 1 semester, I was supposed to graduate in 1982. Sorry, 1981.
81.
1401.
Yes.
Okay.
1401, yeah.
Yeah, 104. I don't know.
1, yeah.
Yeah, okay. 1401. 1401. But what happened because of this drop of 1 semester, I graduated the first semester of 1982. That was the time when they changed the name of the university
to KSU,
from Riyadh
University
to King Saud University.
So
and we said, oh, we were a little bit frustrated, not happy, not because of the name, but now we were saying, I was saying to myself, now I want to go finish my higher study. I have to do my master degree. I want to go. And now if universities in the States and all other places will hear this King Saud University, nobody would know it. You see? That is what I thought.
A university, as
I thought I was gonna get, I wasn't gonna get acceptance easily, because Riyadh University name was, you know, was resounding,
very high
name.
reputation.
Yes, reputation and everything. So of course we wanted to graduate with the Riyadh University, and after 4 years having this name so dear to us, and suddenly you graduate with a different name. So it was for us frustrating. Not just me, all the team there. And luckily I was the first. I got the best in the best team. Alhamdulillah, my accumulative average was the best in this section. Alhamdulillah. Because of, now let me go, because of these 2 incidents.
Yes.
One, having basically linking myself to a companion, American companion, with his family. And the second one is going to Bechtel, dropping, even though dropping looks...
And to be immersed in the language itself with people from native speakers.
Even though it looked bad and all this, you know, المصايب وراها خير الكثير.
Yes.
يعني if people will think, and it's not just مصايب, it might not be مصايب. People will look at it from the face of it. When they see this, oh, this is bad. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala meant it differently, and I became stronger. And I graduated with a stronger accumulative average. And when I graduated, I didn't have... Yes. I didn't have any problem finding, many of those places wanted me. You know, it was easy for me. Of course, King Faisal Air Force College or Academy there.
Yes.
الملك فيصل الجوية كلية الملك. They want. I was about to work with them also to basically go through them to do my master degree and PhD. Also education, but I went to معهد الإدارة العامة, the Institute of Public Administration in Riyadh. And of course, you stayed for one month there, and I came here as an assistant professor or assistant lecturer. But then after that, they sent me to the States to get my master degree. I went to the state, New York, SUNY University, State University, State University of New York at Albany. Albany is the capital of New York State.
Great.
So I wasn't in the city of New York. I was in a city that is far from New York, about 3 hours drive. Lovely,
Great.
quiet, called Albany, and we enjoyed it. I didn't take, my master degree there didn't take that much time. I finished it quickly. Alhamdulillah, I came back.
In less than 2 years?
Yeah, much less than 10 years.
Great.
I put all the courses together, basically 2 semesters and 2 summers.
Great. So you work very hard at that.
I worked very hard, and I
something.
didn't want to stay that much at that time. I wanted really to come.
So
Alhamdulillah, before I went to the States, I got married because I didn't want to go to the States without getting married.
Great.
So I insisted on waiting till I get married. So I got married and I went to the States. I stayed there, I finished, I came back.
Yes.
And it was a big news in the اليوم, جريدة اليوم.
An
interview with the director of the Institute of the first Saudi to be the director of the English department. Great. And all of this. Yes. They put me the director of the English department at that time. So it was big news, and there was a big interview حق أحمد الله يذكره بالخير مدير المعهد الإدارة العامة, the director of أحمد المنصور اللي صار وكيل الوزارة. He became the deputy of the labor ministry. Labor, I think, at that time. Now I don't know if he is still.
You mentioned something. Yes, I'm getting back
Ahmed
to.
Mansour, who's got a hand in basically shaping me and helping me throughout.
Dear viewers, now we go for a short report about our guests and then come back to you soon. So please stay tuned.
So basically, what we're trying to do here to utilize our English language in as much as possible to make sure that people start using it to present Islam all over the world. That's one thing. Secondly, we want people, of course, to learn cross-cultural communication. And behind all of this is basically leadership in this. That's the most important thing. Meaning what when I say leadership? Leadership, it doesn't mean a position. Leadership means you have to have leadership from within yourself to make sure you always continue presenting Islam all over the world. Whether you have a center or you don't have a center. This is why we call this workshop today, how to become an exhibit, Islamic exhibit on the move. What does balighu mean?
In a good manner to convey something to people.
Okay.
In a best way.
In a best way, okay, you are coming closer now. Not just convey, I can convey anything, maybe I can convey it, but in the worst thing. Balighu, even the beauty of this word, is so short a word, but it is so encompassing of too many aspects. I'm moving, this is the workshop for today. Of course, this is going to be three components, or let me say 2 components. Today, the concept is simple but powerful, because in exhibition, what do we do usually? Oh, you see these posters, whether it is Siraj posters or Discover Islam posters, you know these messages, you know how much work went through this to come up with these messages? Okay, respond to any queries or question from the people on the team. In case you don't know, ask the team. Doesn't mean that you are a facilitator, that you know it all, no. Remember something very important. Everything you do here, put in your mind that tomorrow or after tomorrow or next week you're going to be talking to a non-Muslim. So everything you do, when you read about Zamzam, make sure you put in your mind that whatever you're going to be doing here is meant for you to talk to a non-Muslim about Zamzam.
As I know that you also you have another activity as your program, which is called IECC something. Yeah.
EIECC.
Yes, effective, yeah.
Islamic English cross-cultural communication.
You are trying, to at least to change the image of Islam.
Yeah, we are trying to develop leaders to be proud of their identity, Islamic identity, and start to present it in the right way in the middle
positively,
in the middle of this distortion that's happening, unfortunately, in the Western media. And still they are doing it, and still we are being sometimes called terrorists. Unfortunately, you hear it from, unfortunately, so-called dignitaries and presidents. Sometimes they might issue and utter certain things about Saudi Arabia. So we should basically, when we started this program, we started it long time ago. With Ahmed Nuruddin, we started. We designed a curriculum, and طبعا the Abu Ruhi, basically the spiritual
father,
Sheikh Ahmed Didat was at that time was a figure that I used to listen to a lot.
Consult him
and
even
watch
also.
his video a lot. Not consult him, but I just used to watch his videos a lot.
Affected by him,
Also,
by
there was
the way.
affected by him, and also Dr. Jamal Badawi, a Canadian
Those
professor.
are your mentors.
Yeah,
Even also they are very
yeah,
far, but
I don't know them. I saw them, of course, but of course, basically, I was listening to their audios, to their products, their basically debates of Ahmadi and the debates of Jamal Badawi, Dr. Jamal Badawi, Bilal Phillips, Yusuf. Yusuf Istis came later on, but these were the three, especially Sheikh Ahmed Didat and Jamal Badawi, Dr. Jamal Badawi. At that time, there was this debate between Ahmed Didat and Jimmy Swaggart. So we started something in Dammam at that time. We gathered people and we started to think something, do something similar to, as you said, present Islam in the best way to the people. Not in the debate fashion or dialogue like fighting each other, no. We wanted people at least to understand where we stand. Then of course it was, as I grew in a profession,
yes.
as I grew in my life and I went to different majors, I started developing the program to become a better program, and it became EIECC, Effective Islamic English Cross-Cultural Communication. Now this program is basically what we do. We do a 2-day workshop. We make people live what we want, not just teaching them, no. They teach themselves.
You do workshops here in the Eastern Province or also
all
here?
over the world.
All over the world.
I did it in Finland,
Great.
I did it in
Great.
Korea with Rabita, the World Muslim League, and with, of course, previous also with all these Dawah Center, Jaliyat centers. I did it in Bahrain with Discover Islam. I did it in Kuwait with TIES. I did it with Aware in Kuwait. I did it with طبعا we were one of those guys who went to Qatar, and also we presented our program, and luckily, alhamdulillah, after that a center was established, Markaz Youth Qatar.
Great.
Yes, so basically we are interested in developing people. Basically the competencies are al-kafa'at, al-jadarat, the competencies are basically to improve their Islamic English, to improve their cross-cultural communication, to improve their teamwork, and to establish a team so that they can continue, and later on you just leave them. Basically to have sustainability by developing the people. And so wherever we go, we do a 2-day workshop. Then we tell the people do the 8-week. When I was here, I didn't. Of course, hundreds of people they graduated from our program. It was in WAMI at that time. We established it. Alhamdulillah, it became like a department, and many people started, mashallah, graduating from it. And also we did it in Masjid Ibn Baz fi Adana. It was at that time only in the masjid.
You said something. You mentioned also in CV that who finds a faithful friend finds a treasure.
Ah, yeah.
And whom do you mean by friend?
When I was in the Institute of Public Administration,
yes,
of course I found a friend in Riyadh University.
In Riyadh University.
Abdul Malik, Sauda, Safiya, Asma, basically this family.
Yes.
Okay, now they are bigger, of course. He passed away because of, may Allah have mercy on his soul. That is a lovely friend. Of course, more than a friend.
The first friend that you have met.
More than a friend.
Yeah.
And
the other friend whom do you
the
know?
other friend that I also, of course I've got other friends, but the other one that is the
spectacular one, you know,
Ahmed Nuruddin, American guy from New York. This guy, me and him, very, very close. We've been together for the past 35 years. Strange enough, when I came to the Institute of Public Administration,
Ahmed Nuruddin. By the way, he was presented also a program in Saudi Channel too, like more than 25 years ago.
At that time, Ahmed was coordinating the English department in the Mahad al-Idara, in the Institute of Public Administration. And I was basically, I just came as assistant, assistant lecturer, you know, Mu'id. Okay.
Yes.
Then of course I went to the state and I came and I became his boss. And I said, now I can take revenge from you.
By the way, he's still here in Saudi Arabia,
he's still here.
PMU.
Of course, after that, I stayed in Al-Mahad. بعدين انتقلت. I went to education. I taught in high school for 5 years. And I went after that to the Royal Commission. I worked in Jubail Industrial College. Again, I went back to Jubail. I became a lecturer, senior lecturer, and I became the director of the English department. That was my last position in Jubail Industrial College, the Royal Commission. That these are my loveliest years in Jubail. This is also.
You love Jubail so much. It has a great memory for you.
Jubail is like somebody would say like Jannatullahi fil ard. you know, it's like a paradise for us.
A very wonderful city. You know,
Everything.
very-
I hope the Minister of Housing will just take these two cities and will build the same cities to all those people who do not have houses. Lovely cities with the loveliest design. My father, by the way, was one of the designers of these cities.
So great.
I saw these cities in maps, in what do you call it, mock-ups, in diagrams.
Yes.
And now look at them, this city. I wish that the Minister of Housing or all of any of these
Yes.
will look at these two cities and will replicate them.
They
Will-
copy them to other
Best,
you know places
best.
like.
Wallahi, the loveliest Jubail is very nice. Look at
Yes.
Jubail now. I would love every Saudi to have a house like this and a place like this, an environment
Yeah,
like
it
this.
is. It is
And
so
I think
great.
I lived there for almost 8 years.
Mm.
My loveliest years. We really enjoyed it with my family. Everything is close.
Yes.
يعني amazing life. And education was very high. يعني the standards.
Yes.
Education في Royal Commission at
Royal
that time,
Commission,
especially
yeah.
at that time, was very high. أتذكر الله
And still
يرحمه
very high until today.
سعيد بن مصبح الغامدي. This guy was really a man of dedication. Allah yarhamah.
That's great. And Dr.
Yes.
Khalid, just want to know in a minute now, just to talk about something, what you wanna say to the audience of Saudi Channel 2.
Before, before I end up this
Yes.
lovely talk with you,
Thank
a
you
lovely
so much.
personality that I'm
Thank you so
facing.
much.
You
Yes.
pushed it down my throat. It was a
You-
quick,
You did very well.
quick,
Did very well.
quick
Thank you.
notice. But Alhamdulillah, I'm happy that I'm talking to the audience and presenting myself. I'm very proud of being a Muslim, a Saudi Muslim.
Alhamdulillah.
And I think I'm now retired. This is my 6 years now.
MashaAllah.
I would like to send a message for all those people that I've worked with. I love you all. You've shaped my life. Without you, I wouldn't be who I am now. All those people whom I've worked with, lived with, so I'm proud of you all. Even those who hated maybe, or maybe I had disagreement with me, I like you. And they've shaped my life, and this is why I'm standing here. But the message that I would like to every Saudi: unite, unite, unite. Saudi Arabia, you should be thankful that you are from Saudi Arabia,
Alhamdulillah.
because it has the two sacred mosques. Allah has blessed you and destined you to be in this country. Now, it is an honor, yes, but also it is a big responsibility. It's a huge responsibility. Every Saudi, you have to be the servant of every pilgrim coming to Saudi Arabia. You have to be the servant of even the expats and respecting the people who come to this place. Your mannerism and the way you conduct yourself and the way you look at the people and the way you talk to the people have to really represent Saudi Arabia, and most importantly has to represent Islam. We have the best land, the sacred land. Protect it, unite together, make sure you are not taken by surprise from the enemies of Saudi Arabia or Islam in general. Make sure that you are not taken and you are not being used and utilized unknowingly because of certain thinking, certain teaching, whatever it is. Be careful, protect Saudi Arabia from your gate. You are the guard on that gate. Everybody is a guard on a gate, and that gate is Saudi Arabia. And this Saudi Arabia doesn't represent only the Saudis. Saudi Arabia represents the whole Muslim world. Okay, so protect this place, be proud of who you are, never talk defensively, talk proudly, and be proud of who you are all the time. This is a message that I always send to Saudis. And don't be snobbish, don't say I'm better. No, Allah has made you better only in your piety, only in your morality,
Yes.
only in being the servants of this, the two holy mosques. Allah has given us this blissful life. Allah has given us this prosperous life. Allah has given us the oil, not just the oil. Now the metals is in a big abundance. We have a lot of wealth here, alhamdulillah. Allah has given us this safety. Be thankful and make sure you become the leaders of the people in the Muslim world. People look at you all the time. So our program, hopefully our EIECC, we want people to talk and represent all Islam in the best way.
So,
And with this, this is what I would say, and I know that I'm not the one that can give advice to people who can teach me, but a lot of, mashallah, Saudi Arabia, the way they're taught, the alhamdulillah, the curriculum mashallah, that's unfortunately been attacked. It is because of this beautiful curriculum that you have, you're being attacked. Keep that curriculum. The Islamic curriculum that is already in school, I've never seen it in any other place. I studied in Bahrain and I know the difference.
Well, Dr. Khalid Ibrahim Al Dosari, thank you very much for being with us.
Yeah,
and also thank you for hosting us.
Thank you, Sheikh Abdulrahman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for